All right, everybody. I've had some great questions about the listening activity assignment, so let's talk through it. I'm going to be brief, so make sure you have reviewed the presentation guidelines, which are to the left, and that you've read this entire document. Both of these things are the same document. One is a Word doc and one is the PDF, but that will help this quick tutorial a lot. So let's go back to Module 1, the listening activity. Scrolling down to our assignment folders and up to listening. And here you'll see that this is a video that I am about to replace. So let's go in and make sure we've reviewed. The first folder is the listening assignment materials. Read this chapter, skim it. You don't need to know much about the details of it. And then watch this summary video. This is a great PowerPoint that hits on the key points of that chapter. The Power of Listening is a wonderful TED Talk by William Ury, and you are going to find out how listening and active listening can build relationships and really assist in the communication process. Okay, now to the assignment. All of these things are going to give you a better understanding of what we're talking about when we're talking about listening. So open up this survey, the listening survey. Again, both of the documents there are the same document. One is a Word document, one is a PDF. You will not turn this in. Just keep track of your score. So answer the questions and then track your score. So how do we score this thing? Here are 10 questions. Go down to the possible answer scores, and you'll know that almost always is 2, usually is 4, etc., etc. So if I were to take the first question and say, giving in to mental distractions, do I do that almost always? Usually, sometimes, seldom, etc. If I were to be honest, I'd have to say usually or sometimes. I definitely have a tendency to do that. So let's go for usually. And that would be a 4, as you can see down here. And then you're going to track your scores all the way down, answering questions, and then add it up at the bottom. Keep track of this score. So do this on a separate piece of paper, or if you want, you can download this and fill it out after you're done. But make sure that you've kept track of your score because you're going to need that for the rest of the information. So going back to our assignment folder, going into the listen area, this assignment has 2 purposes. The first purpose is to give you experience with the listening process, but the second purpose is to give you practice on presenting your speech, meeting with your group, downloading your recording, and uploading to the discussion board, the same place where we will be presenting and recording and uploading our speeches, the 4 formal speeches you have to do with this session. So this link right here will go directly to the discussion board. This is the same location in general where you will be presenting and uploading your speeches. It's called the Video Peer Reflection Posts. I provided the link in the module, but you can find it directly here, Video Peer Presentation Posts, or you can go directly to the discussions. You'll find a list of all of our class discussions, and this is what we're using, the discussion board feature. So the listening discussion, again, there are written directions here, but what you're going to do is make sure that you have thought through the listening process, but also connected with your speech group. Remember, at the beginning of this session, you were to have signed up for a speech group. So email the other members of that group. Try to find a time before this assignment is due to get together in the video conference area and share your thoughts. So how do you do that? So once you've scheduled with your group, you're going to go to the Collaborate Video Conference tool. This is our video conference tool that's in Blackboard. Instead of having to go out and use Zoom or WebEx or Microsoft Teams, it will all be in Blackboard. Now, this has some challenges to it, but it will also feel a little bit more complicated. Don't worry. Once you've done it the first time, you're going to feel so much better about it afterwards. So that's why we're doing this practice assignment. So say I signed up for the Orange Group. And I have reached out to members of the Orange Group through the Groups tab, and I have connected with them and said, hey, when do you want to meet? This assignment's not going to take 3 hours. If anything, it might take a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. So say we decided to meet Wednesday at 12:30. So I'm going to go here to the orange presentation session. That's what these are called, sessions. And I'm going to click on it and then join the session. You'll see it'll open up and hopefully I am the only one there. It's opened up and yes, I am the only one there. Just go ahead and X out of start recording. That doesn't help right now. So we're going to meet, we're going to share names, we're going to talk about how crazy this class is to take in the summer, and then, or you could talk about anything. But then you're going to decide an order, who's going to go first. And there should be up to 4 of you in the room. Say I decide to go first. So that's when I'm going to record my own presentation because remember, this is a practice for what we're going to be doing for our introduction object speeches. I'm going to go up to the left corner here. I'm going to click on that menu and I'm going to start the recording. Then once the recording has started, I'm going to say my name and then I'm going to back up away from the camera so that I can still be seen from the top of my head to below my knees. And then I'm going to share my score. I'm going to talk about the listening process and the experience I've had with it in the past, whether the score shocked me or whether I kind of knew I maybe struggled at listening, that I tend to plan my responses. And then I'm going to talk about how I can use this information in the future. Those 3 questions are in the assignment. So don't worry if you haven't written that down. Just go back to the assignment and you'll find them there. So once I have finished, I will return to the screen and I will stop the recording. I'll find the stop recording button in the same place that I found the start recording button. And then my recording's done. And then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be a very good audience member to the second person who goes, who's going to start their own recording and say their name. They're also going to back up, respond to the questions, and then come and stop the recording. So everybody is in charge of their own recordings. Excellent. Everybody's gone. We're all done, right? Not quite yet. So how do we leave this thing? You can just go up and click on the tab, closing the tab, but you can also leave session. You can rate it if you would like, and we're gone. We're done. So where do we find the recordings? Okay, in a similar place. So the list of sessions is here. Once the recording is done, you'll go to the left of the sessions page and find recordings. And you'll see that one group may have started theirs already, and they may have started their recording. So notice that it shares the presentation group and then the time, the recording number, and then the date and time of the recording. That's it. Your name doesn't pop up. It doesn't magically know that you were the one that pressed the record button. So you're going to go to these 3 dots. As a student, you will only have the option to watch or to download. You're going to download to your device and you're going to save it in a place and with a name where you can find it easily. All righty. Then what do? So this is where we go to video post, to where we're going to be posting the other speeches. So we'll go back to the listening discussion assignment. We'll go back to this link and we're going to create a thread. All of these directions are here. We're on the last 2, so it's pretty cool. So we're going to create a thread and I'm going to put orange, because that's the session I was in, listening assignment, because my name will pop up automatically. Then to add my video, I'm going to go to the Add Content button, click on that, insert local file, and then locate the recording on my device. You can also choose to do a Blackboard Collaborate search, but again, it can be difficult to find that recording and sometimes it doesn't pull it over. So I don't recommend doing it this way. I'm just going to click out of all of this. If I had pressed submit, you would see my thread pop up with my name and then the subject title and when I uploaded it. All right, So now you're done. Again, this seems very complicated, and I get it. If you can't meet with 3 members of your group, that's okay. Just do it anyway. The important thing is that you go into Blackboard Collaborate, you record your responses to the survey, you download that recording, and then upload it as if you were uploading a formal speech. So don't worry if you can't make the audience requirement for this time. Audience is required for the 4 formal speeches of the class, but not necessarily this time. It's just really my hope and dream that everybody can get together and share their experiences. But if you have any questions, I know this does seem very complicated. Again, it will get simpler, but reach out. Let me know. We'll work through it. All right. I am looking forward to your speeches.